Imagine waking up after a near-death experience with a message from Jesus himself. This is the incredible story of Landon Whitley, who survived a catastrophic accident and returned with a life-altering mission. But what did he witness in the realms beyond? Who did he encounter? Join us as we explore the extraordinary journey of Landon's passage to the afterlife and the powerful revelations he brought back on a calm Sunday afternoon, October 19, 2024. The Whitley family. Landon, his parents, Julie and Andy, were heading home from church in their Pontiac Sunfire. Landon, just a young boy at the time, sat in the back seat, enjoying what seemed like an ordinary trip. But in a flash, their routine drive turned into a life-altering tragedy. The incident, Julie vividly recalls the chaos of that moment. She heard her husband and he shout something, but before she could process it, everything descended into confused John. An ambulance speeding through an intersection crashed into their car with a devastating impact. The collision changed their lives forever. Both Julie and Andy sustained critical injuries, and Andy tragically did not survive. Julie was left to cope with the heartbreaking loss of her husband, while facing the daunting challenge of helping Landon recover from his own life-threatening injuries. As the family crossed the intersection in Mint Hill, a rescue vehicle, ironically not responding to an emergency, struck their car from the side. The force of the crash was immense, flipping their world upside down. Landon was critically injured, and rescuers struggled to locate him amidst the wreckage. When they finally found him, he was unresponsive. Emergency responders worked tirelessly to revive him, but his condition was dire. He was immediately airlifted for urgent medical care, but the fight for his life was just beginning. Landon's battle. On that fateful day, Landon's young life hung by a thread. He died 3 times, once at the crash site and twice more during his transport to Carolina's medical center. Each time, doctors managed to bring him back, but the severity of his injuries left his family and medical teams uncertain of his chances for survival. What happened during those moments when Landon crossed the threshold between life and death, his incredible story of survival, and the remarkable visions he experienced would soon come to light, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who heard it. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into Landon's journey, his encounters in the afterlife, and the profound mission he brought back with him. At just 8 years old, Landon experienced something extraordinary during the moments his life hung in the balance. Each time he passed away, he recalls feeling as though he was in heaven. He vividly describes seeing golden roads, meeting Jesus, encountering angels, and even reuniting with his father and 2 relatives he had never met before. These profound experiences left an indelible mark on Landon, sparking a lifelong curiosity about life, death, and what lies beyond. As he grew older, he reflected on these moments with a sense of wonder and awe. For Landon, the accident was more than just a tragedy. It was a glimpse into a greater reality that reaffirmed his faith and gave him peace, knowing there was more to life than meets the eye. Doctors managed to bring Landon back each time, but his prognosis was grim. They warned Julie, Landon's mother, that even if he survived, the extent of his injuries would be catastrophic. They told me that if he made it, which seemed unlikely, he would be like an 8-year-old forever, Julie recalled. He wouldn't walk, talk, or even eat properly due to extensive brain damage. But I was so desperate I was willing to accept that he was all I had left. Julie's love for her son was unwavering. Even in the face of devastating news, she resolved to do whatever it took to ensure his survival, even if it meant caring for him in a profoundly altered state. In those dark moments, her maternal instincts took over, and she fought with everything she had for her son. For Julie, having Landon alive, no matter the circumstances, was what mattered most. As Landon struggled to stay alive, Julie faced another heart-wrenching reality, saying goodbye to her husband at his funeral. Consumed by grief, she grappled with anger, confusion, and a deep sense of loss. "I was so angry," Julie admitted. "I didn't understand why this had happened, or why God hadn't sent his angels to protect us. But at the same time, I was praying harder than I ever had in my life." For Landon to survive, Julie's faith was tested like never before. She questioned why tragedy had struck her family and wrestled with the absence of divine intervention. Yet even in her despair and doubt, she clung to hope and continued to pray. It was a time of immense vulnerability for Julie as she navigated the complexities of faith and suffering amid her pain. Julie found solace in believing that God was listening, that he hadn't abandoned her or her son. Her journey through grief was marked by moments of despair, but also by resilience and determination. While she may never fully understand why her husband died or how her son miraculously survived, Julie remained steadfast in her belief that love and faith can overcome even the darkest moments. Despite the severity of his injuries, unconscious and hooked to life support, Landon's story was far from over 2 weeks after the accident landed. Miraculously woke up, which Julie believed was a direct answer to her prayers. To everyone's astonishment, doctors discovered he had no brain damage amid the overwhelming joy of seeing her son awake and alert. Julie faced the heartbreaking task of telling him that his father had passed away. He had scars all over his face, and his head was covered in bandages. "I didn't want to hurt him any more than he already was," Julie recalled, reflecting on the delicate moment she had to break the devastating news. It was an emotional balancing act relief that Landon had survived without serious brain injury, coupled with the pain of revealing his father's death. Yet Julie's love and resilience as a mother shone through as she approached this difficult task with compassion and courage. "I asked Landon, 'Do you know where your dad is?' Julie said. To her surprise, Landon responded, 'Yes, I know where he is. I saw him in heaven.' Landon's experiences in heaven didn't end there. He shared with his mother that he had encountered other familiar faces, family members and friends who had passed away. He also revealed something Julie hadn't expected. 'Oh, Mom, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I saw your other 2 kids,' he said. Julie was stunned. Landon was referring to the 2 children. Julie had miscarried before he was born, something the family had never discussed with him. "I just looked at him because I wasn't sure what he was talking about," Julie recalled. "But he knew," he said. "I knew they were my siblings in heaven. You just know who everyone is." Each time Landon faced death, he described a unique experience in heaven. During his 3rd near-death experience, he recalled encountering Jesus, who gave him a profound mission. "Jesus came to me and told me I had to go back to earth, be a good Christian and tell others about him," Landon explained. "I just want people to know that Jesus is real. Heaven is real, there are angels. And if you follow his word, life does get better. In the end." Following this divine message, Landon and Julie embarked on a mission to share their story, bringing hope to those struggling with loss and grief. Landon expressed that his purpose was clear to tell others about Jesus and the reality of heaven. Reflecting on their journey, Julie acknowledged how her understanding of faith had evolved in 1997. "I didn't understand why God had sent an angel to save us," she said. "But now I see that angels were there protecting us and we're living out God's plan." Instead of remaining stuck in grief or anger, Julie chose to use this story to inspire others to hold on to their faith during life's most difficult moments. "It's such a blessing to see my son share his testimony about Jesus," she said. "He's always willing to let people know there's a heaven because he's been there." Despite the severity of his injuries, Landon's survival became a beacon of hope and faith, proving that even in the darkest moments, there is light. Landon's recovery was nothing short of miraculous. Today, he lives with 23 metal plates in his head, his nose reconstructed from the back of his skull, and permanent vision loss in his left eye. Despite these significant challenges, Landon has found a way to lead a mostly normal and fulfilling life. His journey stands as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit, faith and love. The strength Landon has shown in overcoming his physical and emotional hurdles is nothing short of inspiring. After enduring unimaginable loss and pain, he has embraced life with gratitude and purpose, choosing not to dwell on what he has lost but to celebrate what remains. His ability to persevere and thrive in the face of adversity serves as a reminder that even in our darkest moments, hope can prevail, a story of faith and purpose. Landon's story is also a profound illustration of faith in action. His experiences in heaven, from walking on streets of gold to meeting Jesus and reuniting with lost loved ones, have solidified his belief in God's presence and plan. Each encounter in heaven reinforced the reality of God's love and the promise of eternal life, giving Landon the clear sense of purpose. "Jesus told me I had to go back and share his message to tell people about him and to live a life that reflects his teachings." Landon said this mission has driven him and his mother Julie to inspire countless others by sharing their story. Julie's journey is equally remarkable. Her faith was deeply tested by the tragedy, but through prayer and reflection, she found strength and clarity. In 1997, "I didn't understand why God didn't send an angel to prevent the accident," she admitted. "But now I see that his angels were there guiding and protecting us." Even in the midst of the storm, what happened was part of his plan. Together, Landon and Julie have turned their pain into a platform for spreading hope, love, and faith. They encourage others to hold on to their belief in God, even in times of grief and doubt, and to trust that every hardship has a purpose in His greater plan. A message to all Christians. Landon's story also carries a broader message for Christians around the world. It serves as a wake-up call to focus on living a holy life, staying rooted in faith, and actively sharing the message of Jesus Christ in a world often filled with distractions and challenges to faith. Landon's experiences remind us of the urgency of spreading God's word and preparing for the return of Christ. The Bible provides a roadmap for how to live a life aligned with God's will. It calls us to pray for those who are lost, to share our faith with boldness and compassion, and to live in a way that reflects the love of Christ. Landon's miraculous survival and his testimony are powerful examples of what it means to walk in faith and fulfill God's purpose, a community of faith. If Landon's story has touched your heart, it's an opportunity to reflect on your own journey of faith. Are you living a life that honors God? Are you sharing His message with those who need to hear it most? These are the questions that Landon's story challenges us to ask ourselves. For those who feel called to go deeper, there are communities of believers who are dedicated to exploring and living out their faith more fully, whether it's through prayer study or sharing testimony. These spaces allow Christians to grow together and strengthen their relationship with God. If you've made it this far, consider joining a community that aligns with these values through exclusive content support and fellowship. You can deepen your faith and continue to be inspired by stories like Land. In this, together we can navigate the challenges of life while staying rooted in the hope and promise of God's love. Landon's life is a living testament to the power of faith, resilience, and the incredible love of God. His story continues to inspire, reminding us all that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, God's presence can bring healing, purpose, and joy.